Okay, welcome in those of you just tuning in. Tonight we're doing an emergency update on the severe weather for tomorrow. We're going to wait for a few more people to tune into the live stream before we go ahead and get started, but feel free to say hello in the chat. Boo, did I scare you? No, you did not. But we'll go ahead and get started in just a second when we have a couple more people tune in. So it looks like we've got a few more people joining us now. So we're going to look at the day 2 outlook, where right now hello. Okay, now we're unmuted. Thank you for the new sub, whoever just did that. It helps out the channel a lot. But right now, we have an enhanced risk for portions of central Mississippi, western Alabama, central and northern Louisiana, all the way down to Baton Rouge. That's where we have our 10% hatch tornado risk. So, very dangerous threat. That includes Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi, Monroe, Louisiana, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Alexandria, Louisiana. Those are some of those main population centers in that area. Then everybody in the hatched risk is also in the 10%. So, and vice versa, everybody in the 10% is in the hatched. So, Houston, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Birmingham, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, Shreveport, Louisiana, 5%. And then Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Atlanta, Columbus, and Little Rock, Arkansas is 2%. We also have a non-hatch 30% wind risk for the same areas. Those are 10% hatch tornado risk. Jackson, Mississippi, Monroe, Louisiana, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Alexandria, Louisiana, Meriden, Mississippi. So, the wind and tornado threat will be our main threats tomorrow. And there's also a hail threat, but it's only a slight risk hail threat. Not too worried about that. But definitely something to keep an eye on. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know in chat. This is an emergency update. This is an enhanced risk. And I'd say we have a chance to see this go moderate. For sure. Not sure how high that chance is. Probably give it like a 20% chance now. Some people were saying high risk. Highly doubt it. So, that's what we're worried about. And if we look at the summary, says, so this is as of 11:31 a.m. Central Standard Time today, is when this was issued. There's an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms from portions of East Texas, the lower Mississippi River Valley, into the Tennessee Valley. Summary: original outbreak of storms severe storms with large hail, damaging winds, and strong tornadoes is possible Saturday into Saturday night from East Texas across the lower Mississippi Valley into parts of the Tennessee Valley. Remember, chat, we got to share this information with as many people as possible on social media and all messaging apps. Hit that thumbs up button down and down below. Yes. Thank you for that. Hello, Mr. Storm. Welcome in. I'm sure moderate goes out tomorrow. There's a chance, not too sure how much. Definitely a chance. It won't be a higher. OOZ uptrended a lot for the war. I think less morning convection will affect the overall severe threat because those storms are going to fire in the morning, Mr. Storm. So that might, stall them a little bit from gaining steam. Yeah, it'll significantly increase. My bad. I don't know what I'm talking about. But deeper convection is expected to develop early in the period, too. So that's the summary looking at tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Here you go. So that's what we're looking at for right now. I don't know how to get this forward. I don't look at this model all too often sometimes, but I'm not the best with the HRRR. We can probably best to look at the pivotal weather one. We want... It's probably good. Yeah, pivotal weather, I'm on that one now. So there's temperatures. Click for point sounding. I can't hear it for some reason. Maybe you all can. Yeah, way better, for sure. There we go. So we'll just move this through. This should be early tomorrow. So we've got those storms. And that's later tomorrow, I think. Not a good sounding. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty dangerous situation tomorrow. So we've definitely got to look out for this. I'll be live as much as I can tomorrow. It's on the left. Okay. Let me figure this out. Pick the region you want, okay. Regional. There we go. Okay, so there's our regional sounding that we wanted to take a look at. So that's looking pretty concerning with the hodograph. That's looking pretty favorable tomorrow. I'm not the best with those. Mr. Storm mentioned it earlier. Convective Chronicles has a really great video explaining those. But that does look quite concerning. We'll check the southern Mississippi-Alabama border. Okay, so that's kind of that blue line we're talking about, where it starts to curve that like that. That's not good for tomorrow. And these storms will be moving northeast. PWatt, pretty high, 1.74 inches. 3 Cape is 33. Hit animation. Where's the animation button? Let's see. $18Z. We'll take a look at that. There's the 18Z. So that's when those storms will start to fire. We'll have some in Louisiana. Definitely Arkansas is under threat for all those storms, that line that will move through. And then you can see as we get further, that's when these storms, this main line, is going to move through Mississippi. Hello, E-Gamer, nice to see you here. So that's when that line is going to move through, and that's where we're seeing our 10% hatched risk. I wasn't really paying attention because I was listening to my music, but you have my whole thing. All right, cool. We're just trying to figure out pivotal weather. I'm not the best with it. Yeah, there's a lot of space in Louisiana. Let's go. Here, we'll take a sounding at 23Z on the Arkansas-Mississippi border. So, use that. All right, thank you so much for that. Cooking storms, yes. Yeah, it is contaminated. Use the link you sent. Yeah, I'm loading it. It's right here. My stream's a little bit delayed today. I don't know why it was like this. Thankfully, it wasn't for the coverage stream. HRRR. Yeah. I hit HRRR, now I'm here. Southeast. So that's today. There we go. There are those storms. So there's those storms that we're going to have come through. So we've got a lot of threats with this. I wouldn't be surprised to see this threat go moderate. There's going to be some strong tornadoes tomorrow. This isn't looking good. Forecast loop. We'll take a look at that. So that's today. That's right now. It's worth looking at NAM 3K, Kevin. Yep. So that's our line right there. This is Sunday at 00Z. I'm not sure what threat Arkansas is under, but okay, they're under part of that slight and marginal, because that's where those storms are going to fire over here. Take a sounding in front of one of these supercells in Louisiana and you'll see what I mean. All right. We'll do this one. There you go. There's our sounding. The reactions are going crazy on the side. I just noticed that. Hello, Sam, too. Welcome in. There, I threw a yikes emoji in the reactions. We'll post a full breakdown in front of it, like ahead of the cell. Okay. Why don't we go over here? That line is really all over the place. And here's our statistics, thermos at the bottom. Is that what you were wanting to look at? Yeah, that's better. Sorry for the struggle. Don't unsub, but there we go. We got it. Yeah, it's pretty significant environment. This is something to watch for. We're going to be live as much as I can tomorrow. We're probably going to have a few, or at least a couple PDS tornado warnings, if not at least one. 71-degree turn storm slinky. Yeah. So, PDS tour. Yeah. Thanks for the subscription, whoever just did that. Really appreciate it. This is an extremely dangerous setup. So once again, going over the areas, in terms of our tornado threat, which is what we're talking about right now, this whole 10% area with the black lines, hatched risk. You need to be on high alert tomorrow. That is central and northeastern Louisiana, goes all the way down to portions of southern Louisiana, most of Mississippi other than northern and extreme southern, where you're still at a 5% where I would look out for it. Whoa, I don't know what just happened. Maybe it got an update? No. And then western Alabama as well. So, western Alabama, extreme western Alabama, where we're watching some tornado warnings today. So, the hatched risk, you have a chance of seeing an EF2 plus tornado. Also watching a wind risk. I bet this wind risk, let me know what you guys think in the chat, but this wind risk will go hatched. I'm going to start a poll in the chat based off what everybody thinks of what weather will have enhanced or moderate. I'll even put high on there just for that, because I have to see if anybody actually puts that. Yeah, 45% chance. Earlier, I was personally thinking... Yesterday, I was leaning towards 70%. Now I'm between like 30 and 40. But definitely still a possibility. But on Davis's poll, I think like 10% of people were thinking that we would get a high risk. Let me check. Now it's 7%, 63% moderate, enhanced is 30%. But also, go subscribe to Mr. Storm, Davis Does Weather, Weston's Weatherwise, everybody, leave IWX. Yeah, they will not go high, for sure. I know that, but some people think so. So I just wanted to see if anybody puts that. Let's see. Nobody put it, thank goodness. So, once again, go subscribe to Mr. Storm, Davis Does Weather, Weston's Weatherwise, Leave IWX, Jesse, everybody. I know a lot of them will be covering this tomorrow. And there's a lot of chasers that will be chasing tomorrow. Ryan Scholl, Freddie McKinney, a lot of those people. Longest stream of all time, yeah. Probably won't be my longest. What I'm thinking is multiple of these, like, 1-hour streams. I think the next SPC update is at midnight or 1 a.m. Central. Yeah, link Davis's channel, please. Mr. Storm, all of them. Go subscribe to all of them. This is going to be a pretty big event. It's the biggest one we've had in a while. Obviously, we had a 10% hatch just a few days ago, and we had a few tornadoes. But that was kind of a bust, I guess you could say. I think this is definitely a lot more of an impressive setup that we need to watch out for. Oh yeah, and Sam too. Sam's channel. Not the Sam that we currently have in here. Other Sam. Alright, you're going to take a few soundings. Let us know what you find. I don't know if Jesse will be going live tomorrow. I don't know how often he goes live. But I know Davis will be live, and I believe Mr. Storm will as well, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on one moment, everybody. I'll be right back. I'll keep this on loop, though. Alright, I'm back. You will be live. Sounds good. I'm not sure how often I'll be live, but I'll try to be live as much as I can. Typically, a tip for the sounding is watch for a curve with the hodograph. Check the SRH levels in 3 cape and your lapse rates. Yeah, and that 3 cape, 130, that's a lot. Let's take another sounding ahead of these storms while they're in Mississippi. Let me get them on the border, and I'm going to do over here. There's that curve that Kevin is talking about, right around 50 and 60, at the critical angle of 52. You can see how it turns over here. That's that curve we're watching, and loops over there. There's that 3 cape and P-watt that we were talking about. It's 25 in this area at that moment. That's just ahead of the storms before they hit it. But if we look at the storms, it's 0 on there. There's a 3 cape of 88 just before they come through Louisiana. Make sure the red line doesn't pass the dotted dash line. That's a capping inversion. Mr. Storm says up to baseball-sized hail possible. Yes, that is definitely possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if they upgraded the hail risk to a 30% without a hatched. And this wind risk has a chance of going to... This has a chance of going to 30% hatched, I'd say. This may go 30%. Sylvia says, appreciate you. No problem. Glad you're here and enjoying the coverage. Weston, I hate to break it to you, it will not be high risk tomorrow. Just gonna let you know. Not high risk. Totally agree with Mr. Storm. Not happening. We just gained another sub. Thank you all so much. Also, go subscribe to Mr. Storm. He's in the chat, helping us out. Help me with the pivotal weather. Big help. It is not going to go high risk. 15% hatched is what I meant to say. But honestly, 30% is still possible in my books. High risk is definitely wild. So, looks like Weston still didn't vote that on the poll though, so maybe he was joking. But 83% of you said moderate. 17% said enhanced. So I think that's a 5-to-1. It doesn't let me vote it, but I believe I was going to put moderate. So if you're just tuning in, we are taking a look at the forecast for tomorrow, where we have an enhanced level 3 out of 5 risk of severe weather. And most of us, 80% of us, believe that it will be upgraded to a moderate risk. We have a 10% hatched tornado risk with a chance of EF2 plus tornadoes, strong tornadoes possible in central Mississippi, extreme western Alabama, central Louisiana, and then down south there too. Yeah, we thought you were not joking, but it's okay. And then the hail also. That's not our main threat, but could go 15% hatched, Mr. Storm mentioned. Also, I'd like to mention on day 3, we have a slight risk of severe weather for portions of southern Virginia, central and eastern and western North Carolina, most of South Carolina except for the coast, and then central and portions of eastern Georgia and western. Only way for a high risk is HRRR shows no problems with anything in the storms. Yeah, that's true, but I also don't think they would jump from enhanced to high. Maybe tonight, late tonight, they would issue an enhanced or a moderate, and then in the morning they would do a high, but let's face it, a high is not happening. I don't know if a change could happen that quickly. But that's what we're looking at for day 3. Also, for earlier today, we're still... Yeah, not everything is about what the HRRR says. Very true. So this is the threat we're looking at today. The marginal risk initially went like this, but now it's just that little spot near Mobile, Alabama, where we still have a 2% tornado risk. Not too worried about it. And then no wind or hail risk, just tornado risk. Look at southwest Mississippi on O1Z and take a sounding ahead of the line. All right, let's do that. O1Z on Sunday. Are you talking about Sunday or Saturday? Rolling Fork area, please. I'm assuming you're saying that you don't want it to get hit, but I'm really, really hoping that they don't. But I believe they're in this area. It's looking really bad, but keep Rolling Fork in your thoughts and just hope they won't get hit, because that would be terrible. Absolutely. Just really bad. I emailed SPC seeing if they were going to add 5% hatches, and they said they would start working on it. You can email the SPC? I need to look into that, but I also don't want to bother them, so probably won't. They're super busy people. Okay, so I'm assuming you're talking about Saturday. Here's the sounding for O1Z on Saturday. Marginal severe, it says, for tomorrow morning. But then, if we go to the next O1Z, over here, southwest, Tor. I'm not sure if I could trust you much on that, but it's nice to see they're considering if true. I don't think a 5% hatch should be a thing. Yeah, Sunday. Here's the Sunday. 119 Cape. And 3, that's the 3 Cape, sorry. And PWAT is at 1.45 inches. There's that photograph with that curve. You can see the curve. It's right around the critical angle of 40. Goes just like this. And then we have another curve on the blue line, which will be favorable for tornadoes. Once again, I'm going to go over this. We mentioned it a lot on the stream today. We're going to be watching tomorrow on the radar for rotation, because the red is going outbound from the radar, green is coming towards, and that's where we have that rotation. Why should it not be a thing? I just feel like we shouldn't have that limiting between a slight risk and an enhanced. We should just have it go straight to 10%. Because, I mean, I feel like a 5% hash would basically replace 10%. I don't know if we have that much room between each risk. I mean, it would bring a lot more detail, so maybe it would be a good thing. They said it wouldn't be called something else. Alright, that sounds cool. Also, not just saying we're only going to see rotation tomorrow, we're going to see much more than just rotation tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and say we'll get at least 2 PDS tornado warnings tomorrow. 2, for sure. And at least 4 or 5 observed. It's good for days that might not have much tornadoes, but a sig tor threat exists. Yeah, I guess it is a good idea. But There would need to be some sort of difference stating that a 5% hatched is not as great of a threat as a regular 10%, and that the hatched is just noting a particular area. That's what I feel like. If we look at our current radar, we'll just keep an eye on that. We do still have a 2% tornado risk down in this area where we've got a Tor-E possible tomorrow. You're asking Kevin? I think it's definitely possible. Tornado emergency, for sure. I'm not sure what Kevin thinks, but I think it's possible. There's our 2% tornado risk still in effect for this evening. If we take a look at radar, I'll need to use the mobile one. So mobile Alabama is still included in that. Still got some storms moving through. Special weather statement on the border just in Mississippi. And the threat we're looking... Oh! It's talking about brief funnel clouds. That's very interesting. Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm capable of producing funnel clouds near Hurley, or 12 miles northwest of Grand Bay, moving northeast at 10. That's extremely slow. Those are those slow storms Mr. Storm was mentioning on his stream, I believe. But this type of funnel cloud is harmless, but on rare occasions they can briefly touch down, producing winds of over 50 miles per hour. Let's see if this one is talking about the same thing. It is. I don't know if they would issue a tornado warning for that. Look, velocity, alright. And I believe we've got this special marine warning off the coast for... Where is this? Water spout possible. Tomorrow could produce like a higher end caliber moderate. Yeah, mid to high end moderate, but not a high risk. So we're actually near Biloxi, Mississippi. We're going to keep an eye on these special weather statements where we have a chance for a brief funnel cloud. We do have some broad rotation in a couple of these. I'm keeping an eye on over here. Also, I would be eyeing this area, but it kind of went away. And then over there as well on Interstate 10. So we'll just keep an eye on those for a few minutes and see what they do. Would they issue a tornado warning for the brief funnel clouds? I doubt it. Maybe a 15-minute tornado warning at the max. Just a brief one. Also, in terms of our severe threats, 1 special marine warning, 2 special weather statements, and a flood advisory, I believe that is. Not a flash flood warning. So these storms are moving extremely slow. Some classic supercells today. Yeah, there were. And Mr. Storm also mentioned this at one point in Weston. I realized it after they mentioned it, but on the reflectivity at one point, one of our hooks looked kind of like... It looked kind of like Barnstall. Textbooks, hello, my stream. Yeah, that one is contamination. You're correct. That I circled over here. But we'll keep an eye on this one over towards the radar. So, marginal tornado threat may continue for another hour or two, is what we've got going on right now. Across parts of the central Gulf Coast. Central Gulf Coast, blah, blah, blah. Mississippi Valley. This will move northeastward into the Ohio Valley this evening. You know what? Let me go ahead and bookmark pivotal weather. I think I meant to do that a long time ago. R pivotal. Thanks for reminding me of that today, everybody. Oh, we just dropped a sub. That's okay. That's crazy. I don't know if anybody saw that on the count. 15% hatched tornado threat. I feel like is more likely than it was this morning. Yeah, it probably is pretty likely. It's more likely than it was earlier, too. I did find out recently that YouTube is currently deleting a lot of inactive accounts, and I've had my channel for nearly 4 years, and I lost 4 subs at the same exact moment, so it may have been somebody's alts that they, like, deleted. And sometimes I heard that if they detect multiple accounts on the same device and they're all just being created and subscribing to one individual person, they can just make it so that subscriber doesn't count towards your thing. Oh, it went back up. That's cool. But maybe it was just an accident. I don't know. But thanks for the sub. We do have a like goal of 10 this stream, which I just realized we hit. We're at 13. If you don't know, I've been on the channel, or I've been on YouTube. It was 4 years this Christmas, and I used to make Apple content, tech content. Most of that I deleted already, though. The rare video of tornadoes won't be archived. I believe if they have a video, they won't remove it. But if they notice that it's particularly all being made on the same IP address, then they will get rid of it. And they won't get rid of your YouTube account. They'll just get rid of the subs. Okay, 0Z1HRRR is loading in now. Let's check Southwest Mississippi again. 104 Cape now. Still the photograph. Looks like that. But I think if the person has a name on the channel and they have a significant video, like obviously, you're still able to find a bunch of videos of old tornadoes. Moore, Oklahoma, Joplin, Missouri. Not really Greensburg, Kansas. That was kind of before YouTube's time. YouTube was out, but not many people knew about it. And it was at night, so it was weird. The first EF5 tornado was nocturnal. I believe Rolling Fork is in this general area. Just want to check in on them. So I'll do 23Z. I think they're in this area. 131 Cape. You've been teaching? Alright, well, welcome in. Evening to you too. So looking at this general area, Kevin, I think you'd be interested in this. Click right there at the 23Z for Saturday, tomorrow. Oh my goodness, now it's 177.3 Cape. Just keeps going up. It was 131. And look at that photograph. That's very impressive. I'm starting to get concerned about West Central Mississippi. SRH is 300 plus. Yeah. So basically, it's going to be an extremely dangerous day tomorrow. If anybody has any more questions, I can answer those. But other than that, I think we're going to go ahead and end off the stream in just a few minutes. But once again, 00Z HRRR far northwest LA at hour 22. Alright. We'll do that. Far northwest. Is this the area you're talking about? Mr. Storm, is this what you're talking about? Yeah, QLCS may definitely drop a few strong tornadoes. That's what the SPC is highlighting. I don't know what those would be rated yesterday in Texas. I'd guess some EF0s, EF1s, maybe an EF2. I haven't seen too much of the damage personally, but tomorrow, oh, northeast. My bad. I thought the message said northwest. I think I misread it. Oh wait, no, it did say northwest. You're all good. 151 Cape, and still got that curve near 52 again in the spiral. So that's looking also concerning. PDS Tor, possible hazard type. Have we seen any area where it says possible hazard type Tor emergency? Or does this website do that? PDS Tour. They all say PDS Tour, I think. So that one just shows tornado. What about over here? I'm just looking all around at different locations. Plenty of curvature, definitely. Totally agree with you. That's where moderate risk may be needed. Are you talking about northeast? Definitely. So I was just looking at the Rolling Fork area, and you were talking about northeast Mississippi. Very similar area. That's where it says PDS tornado possible. So here's what I'm going to say. Watch where my mouse goes, because sadly I can't draw on here. Wait, maybe I can. Let me figure that out. I cannot draw on here, but just watch where my mouse goes. If we get a moderate risk, here's where I'm going to say it'll be. It'll probably be, like, actually, this area. Not that far out, sorry. This area. This little area right here, where Arkansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana come together. Like that. If we get a moderate risk, we could see it in that area. Let's check the sounding in central Louisiana for tomorrow. $105.3 Cape. This is at 20Z tomorrow in central Louisiana. 147.3 Cape. Got that curve around 49. Plenty of curvature once again. Search up the first analog you see on the SRE. Combined with the So look at central Louisiana and moving into north central, 3 Cape 109. Let's check, just out of curiosity, I'm going to check far east Texas. At that same time, 146.3 Cape. Look at this photograph in far west Texas. Not as much curvature on the red line, but look at the blue line. So that's 20Z in southeast Texas on the border. That little box there consists of analogs from previous days. But if you're just joining us, please subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on so that you will get alerts when I go live tomorrow for all of these hazards, and also like the stream to spread it into the algorithm. I'm going to change our light goal to 20 for the end of the stream. Light goal 20. And that will be our end stream light goal. The analog I got was prolific outbreak from November 1987, 50 tornadoes, including an F3. Wow. That is definitely concerning. I'm worried about that. So look at southwest Texas, though. Or southeast Texas, near the border. 105.3 Cape. Look at that photograph. Western Mississippi, 23Z sounding. Wow. I think that's what I was looking at over here. Yes, it is. Where we have 145.3 Cape. Plenty of curve over there. PDS Tour. Critical angle is 44. It's a storm slinky at 76 degrees. I'm going to check on extreme western Alabama. So this is, here, wait, I need Okay, this is 20Z where we have those future storms coming in. This is far eastern Mississippi. But I need these storms to get out of here first. Nope. Can't really take a sounding with those there. But if you look at central Mississippi, same story as that area. So I'm going to go over the SPC outlook one more time, and then we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Unless Kevin or Mr. Storm, you have any final suggestions on the HRRR for me to look at, then I'll take a look for sure. So we have an enhanced risk of severe weather for western Alabama, central and portions of like mid-northern Mississippi, central Louisiana, extreme eastern Texas, if you can see that over there, all in extreme, like very extreme southeastern Arkansas, and then I believe I already said far western Alabama, so that is associated with our main threat as of right now. 10% tornado risk in portions of western Alabama, central Mississippi, central Louisiana, northeastern. Once again, I think if we get a 15% hatch tornado risk, it'll be in this area where my mouse is, surrounding, if not just south of Greenville, just west of Jackson, Mississippi. Let me know if anybody agrees with me in chat. That's where we will see our moderate risk for tornadoes. So that's what we're looking at for the SPC outlook, but I'll go over here to the soundings again and do a couple more. 19Z in western Mississippi, 3 Cape 119, critical angle 73, storm slinky 72 degrees. Possible hazard type tornado. Here, I'm going to do another northeast. 163 Cape in northeast Louisiana on the 19Z. 161. Pretty good curvature. PDS tour possible in that area, which is where I believe we'll see our moderate risk if one does get issued. I will be posting community tab updates as we go throughout the midnight hours tonight based off of what SPC outlooks we're getting and if I find any impressive soundings. So everybody, make sure to stay tuned for that, please. So I'm really eyeing northeast Louisiana, far extreme western Mississippi, and extreme southeastern Arkansas. Southeastern Arkansas, there we go. 129 3 Cape, extreme southeastern Arkansas. So tomorrow's going to be a big day. Really big day. But thank you all so much for tuning into the stream. I really appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and end off the stream here. I'll leave our SPC outlook up for just a minute while I end the stream. So let me just find my stream ending text.